Hey, what's up guys? This is Oakley, and for this weekend coming up, we have some pretty cool news. Total War Arena is going to be in the spotlight. If you haven't heard already, what they're going to be doing is a Total War Arena live event. So what that means is they've invited a bunch of people out to Cologne, Germany. I was included in that list. However, because of scheduling issues, I was not able to attend, but people like Prince of Macedon and other YouTubers and other people from the community, plus other guests who are just going to be showing up to attend, they're all going to be there. And they're going to have a 10v10, as I said. They're going to broadcast that. And it's going to be your chance to watch it on Twitch to see how it all goes down. Like I said, this is going to take place in Cologne. It's going to be this Saturday, the 23rd at 17 o'clock CET, Central European Time. So let's go ahead and look at the maps. Like I stated, they're going to be playing on 4 different maps with 3 matches on each map. So let's go ahead and look at the first 3 maps that are announced. The 4th one is going to be revealed later. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So the first map is going to be Thermopylae, of course inspired by the Hot Gates. This is the one that I had been able to play for about 30 seconds. It's the one we've seen in previous pictures and videos. It's the one people have played the most on. I myself don't have access to the early alpha because they're mostly doing European servers, so I don't have that much knowledge to share with you. Even if I did, I think I would assume most people are under NDA not to discuss it. So in any case, the map here that they're discussing is basically Thermopylae inspired. It's not going to be exactly like that because, as you can see on the map here, if you look to the north, that's going to be the Hot Gates. That's the little pass, but everything else to the south of that is traversable. So the way Total War Arena works, if you're not familiar, is I believe you can have teams of 5v5 or teams of 10v10. And you only control 3 units, but each of those units will last longer. It has different abilities, and you work with your team and you coordinate to push and capture other areas of the map. And it's very, very cool, so we have to wait for more details on that. Basically, the way this particular map worked is you kind of spawn from several locations on your side. So in this case, Thermopylae, you can see the Greek camp on the right and the larger Persian camp of Xerxes on the left, and then basically you're going to go ahead and try and attack each other's camps. There's various passes to go through. So if we look at the south, that's going to be high up in the mountains. There's little forests everywhere. You can lay ambushes. Some people are going to be cavalry commanders, so their 3 units are going to be perhaps better at scouting, or maybe they're shock cavalry, versus maybe a player who chooses to go skirmisher heavy. Maybe that skirmisher player will go through the center, scout out the woods, and just start probing at the enemy force. So you start to have cool dynamics, and it seems like these maps are really nicely built, custom tailored, not totally symmetric, but they still have balance to them. So I'm pretty interesting to see how this works. And yeah, so that's going to be Thermopylae. I can't show you too much. We're going to have to wait for the live event to see how this actually plays out. Like I said, I don't have too much experience. The next map is going to be Salernum. So this is very cool. I like the fact that they're changing up the setting. So this one is going to have an urban feel. I'd imagine the spawns on this one are going to be northwest and southeast just for symmetry. And again, you can kind of see it's not totally symmetrical, but it's kind of similar. And then you can see there's different paths to attack the other person's base. So in this one in particular, the city to the sort of the southwest is going to be a place where you can have urban combat, a place where actually the sight lines are blocked from the buildings, and so you might actually be able to ambush people in the street corners. Not a place you want to be as a cavalryman or maybe even archers. This is where the heavy infantry are going to slog it out, but also it could be slow push that could be blocked by pikes. So perhaps you want to go through the center, which is where most of the battles are going to be fought, most likely. And paired with that is going to be in the center, they said there's going to be a watchtower. So cool to know that there's going to be an important aspect of visibility. So that's an important objective of the game that you want to control. And then over to the northeast side, where you can see sort of that mountain ridge and then the forest, that's going to be an alternate route that you can take, but again, riddled with forests, open to ambushes and sneaking tactics. So I'm excited to see how 10 versus 10 plays out on these maps. I really want to see the troop dynamics, how the effects really play out, what it's like if a commander can only control 3 units, how intense the micro is, how intense the strategy is. We'll have to wait and see. Now let's go ahead and look at the next one. Is going to be Marathon. So it seems that Thermopylae, Marathon, they're both basing these off of the Greeks, because obviously the Greeks are one of the playable sort of factions that you can choose from. Another one is going to be the Romans, and then the third one that they're perhaps kind of introducing is going to be the barbarians, but I don't think that's quite fleshed out, and don't quote me on any of that. They are going to start small and then start expanding on these as time goes on. But here you can see Marathon. So the ships coming in through there, trying to mimic the Persian invasion, but those are just aesthetic bits. If you want to see where the army is deployed, look at the northeast. You can see a little camp there. Sort of where the ships are landing, and then that is pretty inaccessible. It seems to be in this map that both camps are pretty heavily guarded or defended. So the camp on the east has, cliffs to its back. It has a marsh next to it. It has a forest, so pretty hard to go ahead and attack that. And then if you go ahead and look at the southwest, which is the other presumably Athenian or Greek camp, there's going to be another camp there. You can also see it's surrounded by forests, ridges, and then rivers. So both of these camps are pretty hard to take. But most of the action is going to be taking place, what they said, in the middle, where you have to the south this forest. Again, constricted pathways, great for skirmishers and ambush. And then the terrain a little bit to the north of that, between that forest and the other forest to the more northern end, is going to be a lot of little small hills. And I really like what they're saying about this. If I can quote this, the variation in surface, site, and cover means that using the correct units in the right place at the right time will be extremely important. In some instances, even more so than on other maps. So I like that each map has its own flavor, and that this one particularly tries to cater to using the specific unit where you want it to be. So that's something we haven't seen in the latest Total War games, is maps that are built to make you think and actually interact with the maps. It seems like with Attila, you're just playing on a random plot of land, hasn't been thought out. It doesn't vibe with the units themselves. There's no map that's particularly built to have there's no like risk and reward to the map, whereas these ones, they're built with that. So I think that's what is going to be most enticing to see how it plays out come this live stream. So again, this is just a little bit of a recap of what's coming down this weekend. I hope to see more of that event, and hopefully for those of us in the US in the future, they will be opening up some more servers in the US. A time on that, I don't know. They haven't officially announced that it's going to happen. Presumably it will happen. They're still in early alpha, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah, so stay tuned for that. Again, it's going to be Saturday the 23rd at 1700 Central European time. So you can check that out on Twitch, and I'll link the links in the description below so you guys can follow up on that. Anyways, I'm excited to see that. Hope to see you guys in the next one, and I hope to see you in the Twitch chat. I'll see you guys over there. Peace out.